I remember when I first started playing in a band and my friends were all like, "Oh my god, that's so cool, when can we come and see you play?" And getting people to attend my shows wasn't really an issue. But as time passed, people had seen what my band had to offer and we started selling fewer and fewer tickets. We had to reach out to new people who hadn't seen us before and who didn't know about us. People are exposed to tons of advertisement and information every day, so it was important to us to figure out how to make our communication appear relevant to potential fans, as well as figuring out how we should even reach them. It's not easy to convince strangers to leave their comfort zone to go see a show with a band they don't even know, but it's not impossible either. This is why your band fails, and in this video I'm gonna share a few tips on how to sell more tickets to your shows. Tip number 1. When you play a show in a city where no one knows you, it's a good idea to team up with a few local bands. Local bands have a higher chance of drawing people to the show because they're likely to have more fans in that area. In return, you can invite them to do a collaborative gig in your city to, kind of return the favor. Connecting with other bands is generally a good idea since having the right connections can grant you valuable knowledge, more gigs, understanding of the market, and you might even make a new friend or two. Tip number 2. Send a well-designed poster to the venue you're playing at. A lot of venues have a few thousand fans on their respective Facebook pages, and getting them to share a professional-looking poster for your show is a quick and easy way to get a little extra attention. In addition, it signals to the venue that you actually care for the show to turn out great, increasing the chance that you'll get more gigs at that venue. Tip number 3. Most venues offer customers the opportunity to buy tickets cheaper in pre-sale than if they just buy the tickets when the show starts. This is a great idea because even though people might only save a few bucks, it still prompts them to buy the tickets in pre-sale, and once the tickets are bought, you can be pretty sure that those people will show up. People hate buying something if they know they could have gotten it cheaper, and selling tickets cheaper in pre-sale takes advantage of this. In addition, having sold the tickets in pre-sale also greatly decreases the risk that people will bail out at the last minute. This might seem like a banality, but the psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky actually won a Nobel Prize in economics back in 2002 for proving this tendency. Tip number 4, and this is a quite long one. A thing that has drastically influenced the music industry is the paradigm shift known as the experience economy. The idea is that most industries have evolved from just selling commodities to selling processed goods to then sell services, and with the introduction of the experience economy, they sell experiences. Take the coffee industry for example. In the beginning, companies just sold raw coffee beans, and then they started selling packaged and labeled coffee. Then moved on to opening cafes, brewing the coffee for you, and now we have things like Starbucks. The idea behind Starbucks is to take the cafe service to the next level and make a more specific experience out of it, based on the company's symbolic values. The Starbucks brand holds a set of symbolic values which the consumer communicates to herself and to her surroundings, and it's these symbolic values embedded in the experience that attract customers through an emotional connection. This is all happening because consumers are drawn to brands and experiences they find more interesting and relevant to their identity, and this is a phenomena that your band can take advantage of. For more information on branding in a more music-related context, I suggest you check out my video on branding your band, since I go into more detail on this particular subject. Playing a live show can be seen as a service, where an MP3 file can be seen as a product. What you can do to take advantage of the economical paradigm shift is to work on how you can turn your shows into an experience rather than just another concert. Making your shows stand out and reflect your image as a band will make them stick in the audience's minds as something special, and strategic use of your image in your live shows will increase the performance from a service to an experience. Take the Danish folk metal band Holdra, for example. This is a band that really knows how to take advantage of the experience economy. Whenever they play a show, they go to a nearby forest and grab a bunch of branches and foliage. They then decorate the stage, making it look like the Scandinavian wilderness with trees and bushes and even fucking antlers hanging from the drum set, and the look and the feel of the stage is clearly reflected in their sound and their image as a band, making the experience go all full circle on itself. Tip number 5. Taking a step away from the experience economy, another band with an interesting strategy is the Danish rock band Go Go Berlin. When they started playing gigs and no one knew who they were, they would drive up to a high school in the time where they would play that night, set up their gear and play a few songs during recess. That way they'd reach a few hundred young people, and after they played, they'd advertise the show they played that night. This strategy actually worked, and today the band is doing really well. They've just released a critically acclaimed sophomore album, and they've been on some pretty sweet tours. There are tons of creative ways to promote your shows and to make them seem more interesting and appealing, and these strategies are just the tip of the iceberg. and it's up to you to figure out what strategies work best for your band. I've got a lot more music business related videos coming up in the near future, so if you found this one interesting or useful, leave a like and subscribe to stay updated. Oh yeah, shit. Channel update, that's right. I've been getting a lot of messages asking for part 2 of how to promote your music, and it is coming. Currently, I'm in the middle of exams and I still have to go to work every now and again, so I won't die of starvation, so there's really not a lot of time to make videos. And now for some good news. I have decided to set up a Patreon page. And if you don't know what Patreon is, it's basically a sort of super subscribe button where you can pledge certain amounts of money each month in order to gain various rewards. I got this idea because I've been getting a shit ton of messages like, how can I become more famous? What can I do to get more fans? And here, listen to my mixtape. Who should I advertise it to and how should I do it? The thing is that there's really no quick answer to any of these questions, since every band should promote and brand itself differently. So in order to help the bands sending me these messages, I've decided to make a Patreon reward that grants you a half an hour or a full hour, depending on how much you need, private counseling with me via Skype. In preparation for this, I'll listen to some of your music, make a few considerations, and based on that, we can discuss exactly what your band should do to achieve your goals. The reason why I've decided to do this via Patreon is that if I had to answer every message I got on Facebook and email and whatnot, it would take a lot of time out of my schedule, and that's time that I should probably spend at work. I've also included a few more perks other than the private counseling, but if it sounds like something you or your band could use, I suggest you check out my Patreon page. And if not, well, don't check it out, I guess. I already support a few channels via Patreon, and if any of you guys feel like supporting this show, I would be eternally grateful. That's all for now. I'm really happy that people can actually use these videos for something, and I'm counting on having a new video out in, I don't know, about a week or so. Thanks for watching.